Hey, it's Maximo and welcome to Maximo's Travels. In this video, I'll be reviewing Air New Zealand flight NZ9 from Honolulu to Auckland and NZ129 from Auckland to Melbourne. I'll be strolling through Honolulu's mostly deserted main international airport. I'll be looking at the Chinese garden at the centre of the airport. I'll review the lowest rating airport lounge I've ever been in. You ride in economy in Air New Zealand's 7879 Dreamliner and check out the seat comfort, the airplane cabins, the entertainment system, the quality of the meals, and the size of the toilet. We nearly miss our connecting flight, but do get to ride a golf buggy. Join me in this not to be missed video review. We were ready for another big travel day. We got to the airport, the Daniel K. Inouye International Airport, nice and early. There weren't many people waiting in line to check in. And one thing I'll note about the airport is it's mainly an open air airport. So if it's a hot day, expect to be quite warm in the airport. There's pockets that are air conditioned, but it's generally quite a warm experience walking through it. It didn't take us long to check in and pass security, and we were in the terminal proper. It was around 8:30 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and most of the shops were closed. I thought that was quite surprising. We had a long walk through the terminal, mainly because we were trying to find the Priority Pass lounge. It was pretty well hidden, and it took us quite a while to find it. We did have quite a wander around the airport and checked out all the different sights and sounds and shops on our way to the lounge.
Due to increased airport security, passengers are reminded that all carry-on items may be subject to search. Please maintain control of your personal property, including carry-on and checked baggage, to avoid transporting items without your knowledge. Carrying firearms through a TSA screening checkpoint is prohibited by federal law and regulations. Please check carry-on baggage for firearms before entering the screening checkpoint.
We finally found the Priority Pass lounge, which was just adjacent to some delightful gardens right in the centre of the airport terminal complex. It was a Chinese-style garden with a small waterfall, a little pond, and even koi or carp swimming in the pond. Quite delightful. We finally found the lounge, the I.A.S.S HAWAII LOUNGE. The Google review on this is only 2.6 out of 5. And once I got in there, I could see why. There was no food service whatsoever. You can get tea, coffee, soft drinks and water, and that's about it. The place smelt really musty, like it hadn't been aired properly for a few years. And the restrooms, well, they didn't have any. You had to go outside and use the public restrooms that were serviced by people using the gardens. It wasn't very big, which is a good thing because there weren't many people in there. It was quiet, and best of all, it was superbly air conditioned. So we did have a rest for about an hour and a half or so before it was time to make our way to the departure gate. We made our way out of the cool lounge and into the heat of the Hawaii airport. It was quite a long walk to go to our departure gate. Some of it was outside. We were catching flight NZ9 all the way from Honolulu to Auckland. This is scheduled to depart at 10:15 a.m. and it was scheduled to arrive at 5:15 in the afternoon local time with a 1-hour layover. The plane was late in leaving. It was 1 hour and 2 minutes late and arrived 32 minutes late. And while it did make up some time in the sky, we only had a 28-minute window between getting off the plane and jumping onto our next one, which was our Auckland to Melbourne flight NZ129 with a scheduled departure time of 6:15 in the evening. This made the whole of the first flight somewhat fraught because we were uncertain whether we'd have enough time to catch our flight to Melbourne. And the first flight was 8 hours and 25 minutes, so we had plenty of time to think about it. We were flying in a 7879 Dreamliner in a 3x3x3 configuration. This is pretty much the same class of plane that we rode on the Sky Couch that I did a review on a couple of episodes ago. We were in the middle seats 38E and 38F. Luckily for us, the seat next to Joe was free, so we were able to spread out and have the middle seat to ourselves. The cabin was very comfortable and new, plenty of leg room. The seats were very comfortable. The seats had plenty of leg room, a decent width and a decent pitch, and a 5-inch recline. The only thing they lacked was a footrest that we did get in the Sky Couch economy seats on our previous flight. As with our previous flight, the entertainment system was quite good. There was a 9-inch high-definition touchscreen. It was quite responsive, but was a little bit affected by reflections, which did improve as the light in the cabin reduced during the flight. They had a good selection of movies and TV shows to watch. Some of them were very good first release movies as well. And I was reasonably impressed by the lack of lag between hitting the play button and the movie actually starting. It was almost record speed.
A few moments later.
There was a headphone jack at the bottom of the screen, as well as a charging point in the seat in front of you. All in all, we were pretty impressed with the state of economy on Air New Zealand Dreamliner 7879. And while I usually don't film toilets on airlines, this one stood out for a number of reasons. One, the wallpaper with the books on one side, and secondly, just how small the cubicle was. There was hardly any room to turn around and wash your hands. And for reference, this was the toilet in the centre of the plane. The one on the outside is slightly larger. And unfortunately, because we weren't sitting in a window seat, I didn't get the opportunity to film or even look out the window to see the spectacular takeoff from Honolulu. And there's two things that I want to point out that I did leave out of the review of the Sky Couch flight that I made a couple of episodes ago. One is that you can order food and drinks from the touchscreen menu, and that includes alcoholic drinks and snacks. And I must say the service is pretty damn good. I did order a glass of wine, and it was brought to me by the flight attendant within maybe 3 or 4 minutes of me hitting that order button, and it was complimentary as well. So that's a very, very good feature I did want to highlight. And the second feature, which is more of a gimmick, although it'd be useful if there's a number of people travelling in a party and they're separated, is a seat chat. That's where you can type text messages between different seats. We were able to pre-select our meal options. I received a gluten-free meal and Joe received a lacto-ovo vegetarian meal. This is served to us around about 45 minutes after takeoff. Joe received a vegetarian ragu and rice dish, and I received a chicken ragu and rice dish. We both got fruit and salad, and unlike our previous flights, we got salad dressing this time. Joe said her meal was quite good. My chicken dish was absolutely fantastic. It was hot, nicely moist and not overcooked, and very flavourful. It was probably one of the best meals I've had on a plane for quite some time. Joe's tofu and veggie dish looked and smelled quite nice too. It seemed like just a few hours went by and we got a second meal. Joe got some sort of vegetarian stir fry and rice, while I got a salmon meal. Both meals were served with the same salad and the same fruit salad. So in terms of the accompaniments, I think Air New Zealand can be a little bit more creative with what they provide. I was a bit apprehensive trying my salmon because I've never had a good fish meal on a plane. But this one was absolutely fantastic. It was perfectly cooked, nice and hot, flavourful. Again, one of the best meals I've had on a plane. That's 2 in a row in New Zealand. I'm quite impressed. And it was really great to spread out and have the middle seat free between us. It just gave us so much more comfort. We finally arrived at Auckland around 32 minutes late. At 5:47, we only had 28 minutes to catch our next flight to Melbourne. It was scheduled to take off at 6:15. We scurried through the departure hall, made our way to the transit lounge, through the security check, and then we were collected by an Air New Zealand staff member and whisked away on a golf buggy. I haven't got any actual footage, but that's what it would have looked like. And because of the golf buggy, we actually made the flight. It was delayed by 8 minutes while they were waiting for us, and we managed to do it in 35 minutes, including a security check. We left at 6:22 and arrived in Melbourne late. We were so thankful that we made our flight. The flight to Melbourne was on an A320neo, and the average age of these planes is only 3.8 years. The cabin was really nice. The seats were quite comfortable, and they had a decent width and a decent pitch. The entertainment system was on the back of the seat. It was quite responsive, and it didn't suffer from reflection as much as some of the other planes that we've been on. We were in seats 9E and 9D. Unfortunately, the window seat was occupied. That meant I wasn't able to take either takeoff or landing videos, unfortunately. And one of the lessons learned from this trip is to make sure that we join the airline's frequent flyer program to help ensure that you get your choice of seat, particularly a window seat if I want to film my takeoffs and landing in future. The video on the screen is landing into Melbourne Airport that was taken earlier in the year. A meal was served on this flight, but I didn't record it. I think I was so overwhelmed and relieved that we actually made the flight that I forgot to film it. My recollection was it was as good as all the other meals that we'd had on our Air New Zealand flights. In summary, we really enjoyed our Air New Zealand flights, crossing both ways across the Pacific. The Sky Couch that I reviewed a few episodes ago was fantastic, as was the economy experience going from Hawaii to Melbourne. The planes were relatively new, cabins fresh and nice looking, staff friendly, food great, seats comfortable, entertainment systems pretty good. There's really no complaints that I had, and the bonus was we were able to order our specialty meals before we left, unlike some recent airline experiences we've had in the last year or so. We landed, got some duty-free spirits, made our way through customs and immigration, collected our bags, and then departed the airport with a minimum of fuss. I do hope you've liked this video flight review of the Air New Zealand flights. If so, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and hit that notify bell to make sure you're notified of all my future videos. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying me a coffee. Until our next adventure, you take care and bye now.